This PSA was brought to you by the Peter G Show.
You may have second thoughts after the show.
Don't drink the faucet.
We're really talented. We should get Oscars.
Just pick out a car, for Christ's sake.
No, hi, my name is Peter.
Yeah, I want.
Here's good.
Yeah.
Madam Perry.
I need to get back in the genie bottle.
Louis from Pennsylvania, you're on.
He likes it.
It's showtime.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorced dad, single dad, divorced dad, single dad, Peter G Show.
Oh yeah, it's showtime. Wednesday, right here, Life of Peter G, the Peter G Show. Every Wednesday, like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. God willing, just like today. Just like today. How the hell is everybody? I hope everybody is good. You survived. You know, all the fear mongers, the sky was supposed to be falling today. The 24th of September is supposed to be doomsday. And I got to tell you that I'm sure people that are nasty have gone out of their way to try to disrupt the system to say, like, see, I told you so. We definitely have had our share today here. I'm in the backup mobile for this show tonight, which is really strange. But normally we go into what's called the final four, and that's like 4 hours before the show. Like the show's already prepped, things are ready. All we have to do is start making everything work. So 4 hours is normally in case of emergency, things go bad. 4 hours you can figure out your problem, which we've had many. We've had many. And you know, figure it out. And there has been a few times where it was beyond anybody's control, and almost I thought that was going to happen today. And you know, show must go on. We're live. There's no like, well, we'll just get it tomorrow. I don't work that way. And today was one of those days where I wasn't worried about the doomsdayers and all the gaslighters talking about everything that's going to go. And I watched on the news, there were some issues that they found in New York, and people were trying to disrupt cell phone systems and all that kind of stuff. The AI thing with the you know, the banks of cell phones overloading. I mean, it's just, life is getting crazy, folks. Life is getting nuts, and you got to have to rely and chill out. All right, I'll do this first. Dan, okay, see, I hate that you're watching due to injury, but I love that you're watching, period. Dan's here. We made it. I didn't think we were going to make it today, believe it or not, and it really bothers me when I have issues, but we had technical issues. Started putting things up. We couldn't even get into our servers today. And then I'm thinking, is it a problem with the software? Is it? I mean, there's so many value. You know, technology is really great, but it can really be a bitch. And finally, through process of elimination, you know, we figured out what wasn't coming to us, and okay, we got around that. Then firing everything up, you know, the norm, and now I'm wearing glasses today. I have to because the big screen's not working. I can't make it because the cameras back there are not working. We are literally doing this somewhat like we did 5 years ago, maybe even less, because it's been a good journey of expanding and doing things. I said the last thing I ever want to do is, not that there's anything wrong with it. I said the last thing I want to do is, I do not want to do a show looking into a laptop and just talking, you know, no microphones, just the laptop. And it works for a lot of people. A lot of people kick ass. It's like, just goes to show you, it's not what you got, it's what you do. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not jumping off of buildings or whatever it is. I'm not doing anything exciting, but I'm doing. This is what I do. Love me or hate me. You know, I am who I am. but we couldn't get things. There was things going on, and the multi-cameras were like stuttering, and it's like, okay, how is this possible? And anyway, one thing after another was a chain reaction of stuff. At the end of, felt like minutes. I mean, now you're all flustered and things aren't going, but just take a breath. One way or another, we're going to make it go. And we figured out a way how to make it work tonight. So here we are. Looks a little different. In fact, if I didn't tell you anything, you'd probably not know the difference, but I'm particular. I wanted to be able to provide for you. And here we are. So we got a good show tonight, I think. I mean, it's a recap of the month, but there was a lot of month in the month. A lot of things happened. And number one, I never anticipated it whatsoever, was the fact that when I decided to talk about Bill Gates, which was something I was contemplating for, probably a year, I've been wanting to talk about him. And I never realized what a reaction we were going to get. Did 2 shows on him. But it's still going. I'm getting emails. There's comments. It's just over 1 million comments. And I got to tell you, out of that, and I can't read all 1 million. And this month I went out of my way to try to read comments. I really did. It's impossible. You could spend your life doing that's a full-time job. You could pay somebody just to keep reading comments and never get them all. But out of all those comments, I think I found, let's say I saw 200,000 comments this month. I'm telling you, I was going through them. Out of 200,000, which reality is it's way over 1 million, I found 3 people that didn't understand anything wrong with Bill Gates. So it really blows my mind how aware the general population is. Time out. Everybody hold your breath. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Pensacola's in the house. Thank you. Thank you, Pensacola. I need to get over there one of these days. See the sights. Love that place. So out of all the comments, people are aware. But what blows my mind is people are like, well, what are you going to do about it? And where I'd get the do something. And then they're like, off him. So many people want to get a rope. I mean, they're asking me, well, then quit talking about it and do something. And again, I'm going to bring Charlie Kirk into this whole thing. His whole ideology was talking, getting people on board to communicate. I'm here to communicate. I wanted to see, because I'm telling you, I found in this country alone, when it comes to what's going on in our country, there's a lot of people who don't have a clue. I never realized how bad. Then you have a lot of people who fall into the narrative that is being pushed down everybody's throats, which I can understand that. They sell it well. We used to believe in the system. But I'm here to tell you, I don't believe in the system anymore. Everything is a scam. I question everything nowadays. Even the stuff I believe in, I question. So I was overwhelmed with the whole Bill Gates thing. And I said, okay, look, it's the end of the month. I got a bunch of emails from people going, I missed your show. And I really wanted to call. Again, the same thing I get all the time. I really wanted to call in. Is there any possibility of calling in again? And I said to myself, I'll do the month in review. And if you want to call in, last shot, because I'm not going to live on this whole Bill Gates thing. I'm sure our leader is very aware of what's going on, but I do urge everyone, I left an address, you can write the White House, and everybody's like going, what good's that going to do? I think if 50,000 or 100,000 letters hit the White House all about that man, it just kind of gets you closer to the front of the line, because there's a lot of things wrong with our country. But he's not only our country. I had one comment. Somebody said, they go, people in Africa love him. I don't know whether he was being facetious or what. I'm getting emails from people in Africa that despise him on how he's eliminating the population in that country by experimenting on their children. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you need to know. So I'm very glad to see that people are aware. I am. But you need to, I don't want to like turn, this show is over tonight and everybody goes back to what they're doing. You have to be vocal to say, we know, we want you to know that we know what's going on and we don't like it. I'm telling you, that kind of stuff makes them very aware that they're being watched. And this stuff has to go. Sorry, and again, please bear with me tonight. There's a few things that are going to be a lot different, and but I do want to keep things as normal as possible. It's just not that simple. It's like you drive one car all the time, and then you get into a different car that you haven't been in ages, and it's like you forget, like, where's the light? Where's the switch to turn the lights on? That's what I'm dealing with tonight. But again, the beauty of it is, like the post office, sleet, rain, snow, whatever the hell it goes, we're delivering. Just looks a little different. Anyway, so that's what we're doing tonight. Is we're gonna do open phones in a little while. I'm gonna give you one last shot to speak your mind, whether it's about Bill Gates or your girlfriend's a pain in the ass. You want to talk about your relationship, Charlie Gates. I'm Charlie Gates. I'm sorry, Charlie Kirk. I'm really a little bit upset of again, a lot of people being fed, manipulated videos to make that man look like he's, not a good guy. And I'm sorry, I've watched enough. He grew on me. It took me a while, but I've watched enough of his stuff and debunked enough of the stuff to, it's like, the people who are saying screw him and making fun of his death just don't know the real story. And therefore they just get on the hate train. That's the whole purpose. If you want to talk about that, I got some videos I want to show on that too. Little things like that. I'll play videos in between because I honestly, as many emails as I get about phone calls and all that, I'll worry about it when the time comes. But if the phone does ring when I turn the phones on, I will answer it. And I'm hoping that it's these people that have been saying that they really want to voice their opinion on this show. And that's what we're doing tonight. Next week, just want to say about next week real quick, October 1st, Wednesday, October 1st, I'm going to have, getting ready to celebrate her 3rd year of being sober, Miss Poppy Long. Now, Poppy was on the show 2 years ago, about the same time, 2 years ago, because it was her first 1 year anniversary. She was a, full-blown alcoholic, near death. And somehow, way, shape, or form, she managed to pull herself out of it and realized, this can't go on. And we're going to talk to her as she talks about, she told me, she says she's even better than she was, 2 years ago. And we're going to I think that's important stuff because I know there's a lot of people out there with drinking problems. I do. And it's sad. It's sad that a bottle or whatever takes the weight, makes you feel better, and you can't help it. It's an addiction. Addictions are tough. So, I just wanted to bring another relatable person with their story back on the show because that's what we do here. Life with Peter G. We talk about life. So it may not affect everybody, but I think everybody knows somebody who's gone through some rough, times with alcoholism and all that, if they live to talk about it. I know a lot of people have lost people to alcoholism. It sucks. I'm very grateful that I can drink alcohol, but I don't make I can only take so much. It's not my life. And I thank God every day for that. But there's other people who can't not drink, and it's a tough one. Join me Wednesday, October 1st, when we get ready to celebrate her 3rd year of being sober, Miss Poppy Long. She was on the show 2 years ago on her 1 year anniversary from surviving her own demise with alcohol. And she's going to be on this show to talk about it. What's different now that she's 3 years down the road, all right? You're not going to want to miss that. It's good stuff. It's important. It's very important. All right, what else are we doing here? Don't forget, please, subscribe, follow, Facebook. I got to tell you, my Facebook people, all right, I freaking love you. I freaking love you. I wish the YouTube channel was as strong as my Facebook people. Can we hit 100,000 on Facebook? Go to the official Peter G Show page and hit the follow button. We're going to hit 100,000 here in no time. I'm very proud of you. I am. Keep it up. That's what we need. But, YouTube, I understand because YouTube throttles me back. You can't watch something if you don't know it's on. They're really tough on me. But I want you to subscribe to YouTube also, please. It doesn't take but a second. Just hit the subscribe button on YouTube, hit the follow button on Facebook, and don't forget, we're on a bunch of other platforms too. There's Rumble and not live, but everything goes on demand. After the show is over, I get so many emails, people telling me, I missed your show. Is there any chance you're going to replay it? It's like, yes, yes, and yes. It lives on forever on these platforms unless it gets taken down, like occasionally on YouTube. But normally, once the live show is over, it's going to live there forever. You can catch it whenever you want. Not to mention, I know you're busy, put an earbud in your ear when you're driving to work or exercising, walking. You could Google Peter G Show podcast and listen to the audio versions of all these shows. It's the next best thing to being here. I like when you watch. I really do. But it's important. Follow, share. Sharing is a big deal. Sharing is a big deal. Okay, what we got here? Let's see. What we got? You only have 8 comments. Might need to up your game. Yeah, I might need to. 8 comments on the live. Is that what you're talking about? That's pretty common. It's after the show when everything grows. Go to the official Peter G Show page right there. Again, I can't control that. I love when people, you have to be available at this time, just like PJ is watching now to watch the live. So you can't comment unless you're here live. It's that simple. And a lot of people just don't. A lot of people don't. It's got its ups and downs. I'm not worried about it because, again, it's not all about just being here right now. It's about, I don't care when you show up, so long as you show up. And people show up. So we're good. Up my game. Give me some pointers. I need pointers. How can I up my game? That's another thing. I get a lot of people telling me how I should do the show. Get to the point. I'll get there. Nobody tells Jimmy Kimmel how to run his show. Oh, speaking of Jimmy Kimmel, yeah, Jimmy Kimmel's like Jimmy Kimmel's supposed to be a fun late night entertainment show. So was Stephen Colbert. This is back in the days with Johnny Carson, Jay Leno, David Letterman, when it was fun late night. The late night show was nothing but entertainment, and they slowly became political bashing. And the only people that watch it are the people who believe on that team. And I just wish we had more like what was his name? James he's the English dude. He used to do the carpool karaoke. James Corden. After the late show, he would come on the late show, and he was actually funny. They had good guests. They do funny stuff. That's what I wish I was doing. I really do. I love just entertainment. But there's a lot of world going on, so I'm doing, a little bit of everything. And plus, it takes a bigger budget to have that kind of stuff going. But Jimmy Kimmel I'm going to touch on this real quick because Jimmy Kimmel is the big talk right now because he got supposedly fired or suspended. He didn't really get fired. He got suspended, and then they had their little talk, and they put him back on, and everybody's on the internet. It's like, take that. Like, in other words, like they're sticking it to, the Orange Man or whatever because Jimmy Kimmel's back on. It's like the Orange Man really didn't have a whole lot to do with it. The viewers had a lot to do with it because the sponsors caught hell. See, he got in trouble because people were calling the TV stations, and then the TV stations, who pay money. Let's put it this way. I have a sponsor. If my sponsor said to me, Peter, you cannot say, which is my motto for this year, shut the fuck up. I've been telling a lot of people this year that they just run their mouths before they really get the story right. They jump onto the internet and got to say, see, I told you so, because there's so much stuff every 15 minutes coming up. And I've been telling everybody, you need to just sit back and shut the fuck up. You're running your mouth for nothing. I love you, but sit back and shut the fuck up. And if they told me, Peter, you can't say that stuff no more, I'd have to make one of two choices. I'd have to either say, okay, I won't do that anymore because they're paying me. They're paying me. They make it possible for me to be here. Or I could tell them to go pound sand, and I can say it all day long, but I won't be getting paid from them. That's basically the where Jimmy Kimmel is at. See? It's not cable TV. He's on network television. Not to mention there's FCC rules. Howard Stern fought that fight for years, a long time ago, back when he was cool. Not cool no more. It's all messed up. I used to love him. But it's a whole different set of rules. So it's not, don't go blaming that. But again, they want to shift. Everything that goes on everywhere is the orange man's fault. Let's just get that straight right now. Everybody's loving to that's what you do. Maybe you should consider that. Bye-bye. Shut. Oh, look. PK. I think I got a hater, which is good. Because he's here for a reason. Bye-bye. You're not leaving. You can't leave because you want to sit here and judge me some more. I love haters. You should call in and talk to me. That's what you should do. I'm going to turn the phones on in a little while. You can turn it. You can call me and tell me what my problem is. I'd love to hear that. I never get that. So if you're really that good, call me in a little while. Just sit tight. PK. Shut the fuck up. It's my motto for the year. So Jimmy Kimmel just got, he got slapped, and it's like, either stop it, watch what because we're paying you, and you're losing half of our audience, and that's a choice you got to make. Like, I make these choices, just like old PK over here. I don't know, is that a boy or a girl? PK. Either way, probably non-binary. Not sure. Choices you make. When you start talking about certain things, you're going to lose some people. But when you're getting $15 million a year, you might want to shut the fuck up and entertain. I mean, I'd never do something that I don't want to do. But he could do an entertainment show, which is how it really is supposed to be, and just have entertainment on the show. But he got pumped full of money from the side to talk about things, and he just started doing it, and then you get really into it, and that's it. He just starts pounding. It stopped being an entertainment show. Same thing with Colbert. He lost his audience. Sure, he's got people in the audience, but there's a whole big world out here. How hard is it to fill a theater every night for free? They don't pay money to go see it. They just go and see the show for free. Get in New York. I'm in New York. Let's go see the Colbert Show. That would be fun if you like listening to political bashing. But anyway, they lost their funny. But here's Pat Boone. Pat Boone. Anybody remember who Pat Boone is? Pat Boone is old now. He's really old. But he used to be a big TV star. He was a singer. He was on TV. He was back in the 60s, right? Something like that. He says something to Jimmy, and I thought was very eloquently said, nicely said, and he makes a lot of sense. And I just wanted to touch on this because this is the whole thing. It's not about free speech. Jimmy Kimmel can go off the show, and he can stand out in the streets and say whatever the hell he wants. If you didn't have free speech, you'd be arrested and you'd be put in jail. Be put in jail. See, so we do have free speech, but the difference is that he works for a network that pays him, and they have sponsors, and they pay them. And if there's no audience because the audience is pissed off, well, then you have to reassess what you're doing. So here's Pat Boone. Listen to him. He makes a lot of sense. And again, I just want to touch on this because we have to get this definition of free speech, because we do have free speech, people. If you didn't have free speech, look what's going on in England. Holy crap. I'm going to do a show on that. They're losing their country. The police are coming to your door for saying something on Facebook or social media and arresting you. That's no free speech. We'll talk about that. Again, there's so much. This is stuff, maybe you're not aware of it, but they're losing their country. People are lying down. I don't get it. It's like, man, once it's gone, it's gone. Good luck trying to get it. We fought for it. Almost 250 years ago, 240 years and a half ago, to be where we're at. Damn if we're going to go backwards, and they're trying. But here's Pat Boone, and again, he makes a lot of sense. Be right back.
Jimmy. Your buddy Pat Boone, though we actually haven't met yet, though I've spent many hours enjoying your wit and your ability to interview and interact with almost anybody, except Brad Pitt for some reason. I don't know what that's about. But gradually, you and Stephen Colbert have increasingly abused your freedom of speech. I don't know if you're aware of that. You thought you could infect the airwaves and consciences of millions of watchers without regard to their differing and actually opposite views and beliefs, while networks and sponsors were paying you millions to entertain, amuse, and help them end their days feeling good. You've chosen to infect and insult the intelligence, strongly held political views and convictions, and increasing instances, actual facts, with your very personal freedom to say whatever you want on the public airwaves. Well, you still have that precious freedom, Jimmy, and I'm sure you're still vehemently employing it to anybody who wants to hear what you have to say right now. But say whatever you choose to Bill Maher or Howard Stern or other programs whose sponsors profit from and share your views. But learn that networks and sponsors who pay dearly to reach viewers who don't share your views and are seriously offended by them to continue to pay a significant price to give you the platform to their own detriment. You're still perfectly free to say anything you want anywhere you choose, but freedom isn't free, as you're finding out shockingly. There is a responsibility that comes with it and consequence from its misuse, and that's why it's so precious. So shout on, speak your views publicly in the streets without fear, but don't expect to be paid millions when you bite the hand that feeds you. I love you, buddy. Pat.
This is a man, he's been in the business his whole life. He understands. And he said it nicely. And that's the truth. If I made $15 million a year and how long Jimmy Kimmel been on the air? Over 20 years now, right? That's strong. That's strong. You can retire. You can walk away. I'd be sitting on a beach in front of my house in Greece on an island. You got to call my phone and it'll go, we're sorry, I'm out. But, he's still a relatively young guy and he's got a lot more to give and he just wants to keep going, which is fine. I get that too. You love what you do. You want to do it. But he used to be funny. He used to be funny as shit. Remember back during the Man Show days when him and Adam Carolla, used to do stuff? They were funny. But he got bit by that bug. And once you get, and he got lost in all that politics. And if it was all good, I wouldn't have any problem with it. But people don't want to hear that shit. Not everybody. There's a small bunch that don't mind listening to it. And again, last night I saw people having, watch parties because Jimmy's back on the air just for that 10 minutes of him, backhandedly saying he's sorry, blah, blah, blah. And he'll go on. That was probably his highest rated show in a long time. But then it's going to drop off and he'll go back to, they're losing money. You'll see what's going to happen. He'll probably get Colbert down the road. He's got a contract. That's why they brought him back on. He's got a contract. They got to pay him one way or another. So they put him on, But he's got to watch his mouth. And we'll find out what happens, But here, at the end of the day, Jimmy, just like I said all year long, it's not just for you. Even for me, there's times when I should shut the fuck up, but I don't. Because I feel like you need to hear this stuff. But I'm not on network television. There's a difference, but here you go. This is for Jimmy.
Hey man, just want to let you know that sometimes you gotta shut the fuck up. You gotta shut the fuck up. And this current time is just one of those times you gotta shut the fuck up. I don't think you're a bad person. I just don't want to hear you talking anymore. You gotta shut the fuck up.
Got it? Good. All right, here's what we're going to do. We need to just take a minute to hear from my good friends over at Clean Star Products with their money-saving fuel additive DX1 driver. Because let's face it, folks, it makes sense to save money. And then we'll be back, and then we're going to start on the whole possibly call-in thing, and Bill Gates and Charlie Kirk and anything else that's on your mind. But be right back, so don't go nowhere.
Hello, it's Tyrone Thompson here with Clean Star Products, and we're here with William.
High-end car service.
And we've just serviced his Cadillac Escalade 2024. And we're going to be giving it a go to see what kind of results he'll be getting in his fuel mileage and any performance differences, and be checking with him later.
All right.
Thank you, William, for participating in our environmental program. We're here with High-End Car Services, my friend William, who's been using DX1 for a small time now. What kind of results have you been getting?
Up to 45.1 miles per gallon best results, and the engine has been quieter, and I can definitely feel the power in the engine. I have a diesel.
Thank you so much. We're going to keep going with the program and check in with you later. We appreciate you. The Long Life Engine Program with DX1 Driver is the only safe environmental product for your high mileage engine. DX1 is a non-toxic, clean-burning oil that goes into your fuel and your engine oil, providing lubricity for gasoline and diesel engines. You save on average 10% gasoline and 15% diesel fuel consumption. Call now for a price quote and place your order today. It's the Long Life Engine Program from Clean Star Products and Tyrone Thompson.
That's right, folks. Clean Star Products. Got 2 words to tell you. It works. It does. I use it myself. I would have never talked about it until I tried it. Made a believer out of me. But don't just believe me. What you need to do is go to their website, www.cleanstarproducts. There's all the information you could possibly want, but I'll go even one step further. There's a phone number. I'm even putting it at the bottom of the screen, but go to their website, too. There's the phone number, 310-200-8931. They want you to call them. They will answer all your questions personally. You might even get Ty on the phone. He'll talk to you. They got a product that they're proud of, and they know that it works, so it's like it's that simple. It's a no-brainer. And here's the catch. If you call and you mention that you saw it on the Peter G Show, but you got to call in. Mention you saw it on the Peter G Show. They answer your questions. Should you decide to order, and you say you saw it on the Peter G Show, they will send you 5 bottles for the price of 4. 5 bottles for the price of 4. I'm telling you, they're these little itty bitty. It doesn't take a whole lot. This is for your average 4-door sedan right here. Put it in your gas tank. Fill up your tank with fuel all the way, and then you put one of these in a clean oil change, and it lasts the whole oil change. Simple as that. I mean, anybody can do it. And just drive. It does it all by itself. Then when you run out of, you're low on fuel again, you take another one of these bottles, put it in. Maintenance. Good food, good body. That's all I can compare it to. I notice the difference on my own vehicles, and you'll notice the difference in yours. But call them. If you decide to order, make sure you mention that you saw it on the Peter G Show, because you'll get 5 bottles for the price of 4. It makes a great starter kit. 1 to go in the oil, and then you got 4 full tanks of gas. I'm telling you, you will notice the difference right then and there with by the time you finish off 4 of the fuel tank bottles and the oil. You can't see it in the oil, but you know what I mean. Anyway, tell me you saw on the show, all right? There you go. Okay, today was a hell of a day to making sure that you and I are all here. So we're going to make it worth it. Thanks for watching, even PK, which I'm sure is still watching, because again, it's the ones that hate will still watch so they can see what they can, what they can throw at me. But good luck, buddy. There you go. Salute. No. Smooth. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. This is weird. It's like getting used to a different car. That's all I can tell you. I am going to play one. Everybody's been asking, well, how come Bill Gates is having dinner with the president? All I can tell you is keep your friends close and your enemies closer. You can say what you want about the Orange Man, but he's not a friggin' idiot, although you may think so. Anybody watch the UN speech he gave yesterday? He was a boss. He told them exactly what he felt, and they know he's damn serious. He called the climate change, and all that a hoax, a scam. he laid it out and told them all their countries are getting ready to go down if they keep on that path. They're going to lose their countries. And he's completely right. Completely right. Flat out told them to their faces. And they're listening, believe me. They ain't laughing at him. They can laugh all they want. They know he's serious as shit. They tried screwing with him. He handles it like a boss, because he is a boss. Love him or hate him, he gets shit done. You'll see. But either way, people are getting on me going, how come he's having dinner with Bill Gates and what's his face from Facebook and this and that? It's like, well, again, I'm sure he's very aware of what's going on, but this is a video about him with the CDC, with RFK Jr. and all that, because there's things going on in the background. You just don't know what's going on, and they can't sit and tell you everything, although they try. I think they do a damn better job than we ever saw over the past 4 years. But this is a little explanation about what's going on in the backgrounds with Gates's, because he's got his hands in everything. The food, the air, the water, everything. He's got his hands in everything. And it's kind of hard to get all those stingers unwrapped. But they're going to do it, I hope. They're starting. But check this out, and then we'll possibly open the phones, and I'll keep talking until somebody calls. All right, there you go.
Well, something big is happening at the White House right now. The purge is on. Did you know that Death Eater Bill Gates had secret people or plants hidden in the government pushing his vaccine agenda, from literally everything from like mosquitoes, manipulation of mosquitoes, to getting rid of meat, so you'll eat his fake meat product, to mass vaccination programs on children? Well, that appears to be coming to an end. At least maybe it's coming to an end. So a stunning political purge that sent shockwaves through Washington this morning. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been firing dozens of Bill Gates connected operatives from key federal health agencies, including the CDC, HHS, NIH. And according to multiple reports, this is nothing short of like a scorched earth policy coming from insiders at HHS, basically to dismantle what Robert Kennedy believes is a corrupt biomedical regime that has operated unchecked for years inside of the federal government, all under the influence of billionaire and Epstein buddy Bill Gates. So among the first to fall is this lady, CDC Director Susan Monarez, who was reportedly fired after being identified as a collaborator in what a lot of people are saying was a long-standing vaccine cabal inside the government. In total, 5 top CDC officials are now out, and the purge is expected to continue. This was just the first purging. She was defying Secretary Kennedy's direct orders to fire swamp monsters who were big pharma swamp monsters that Kennedy was like asking her to fire, according to these reports. She wouldn't listen to her boss. I mean, that's like insubordination. So Trump fired her, by all accounts, but not so fast, because then she hired a powerful law firm in Washington, D.C., and her lawyer says that she's not been fired. This is crazy. Lowell and I represent Director Susan Monarez. Contrary to government statements, Dr. Monarez has neither resigned nor yet been fired. We have issued the following statement. First, it was independent advisory committees and career experts. Then it was the dismissal of seasoned scientists. Now, Secretary Kennedy and his HHS have set their sights on weaponizing public health for political gain and putting millions of American lives at risk. Right, okay. What about the millions of people that lost their lives as a result of the big pharma boondoggle? While Gates operatives, though, are being escorted out of the building, though, Bill Gates himself was being, escorted into the White House last night for dinner with President Trump. You can't make this up. No press, no visitor logs, no photos were allowed. Yes, the close friend of Jeffrey Epstein and vaccine pusher on unwitting Africans met with President Trump in a closed-door session that reportedly lasted 3 hours. Again, no press allowed, no photos allowed. Then on the very same day, the FDA quietly revoked emergency use authorization for mRNA COVID shots, only to then reauthorize them for infants as young as 6 months and the broader at-risk population. So in one afternoon, they pull it, then put it back. What the hell is going on here? The timing is no coincidence. And Secretary Kennedy said this: I promised 4 things: to end COVID mandates, to keep vaccines available to people who want them, demand placebo-controlled trials from companies, and to end the emergency.
Okay, but these things are contradictory, and I wrote this out in the newsletter if you'd like to refer to it, because he's saying I'm ending emergency use for the broader population, but the FDA issued an approval for people who are 65 or over with a pre-existing condition. Now, Pfizer wrote this in their press release about it. They're saying that the COVID vaccine from Pfizer was approved based on the, listen to it, this is how they do a slide of words, based on the, quote, cumulative body of evidence supporting the safety and efficacy of the Pfizer COVID vaccine, including clinical trial data supporting the approval for children 5 through 11 years of age. Now, see what they did there? It's not based on clinical trials, which he just promised in that tweet. It's based on the idea of a clinical trial, not a direct clinical trial. So in the same tweet, he's saying, I'm revoking this for the general population. I'm putting full authorization for these populations, but they are not, I repeat, not based on clinical trials. They're based on the cumulative body of evidence. So they're just like pulling pages out of a book and sticking it together and saying, this is good. This is what we can use. That's not what we were promised, and you know it.
And you know it. Here's the problem. There's years and years and years of corruption that we are trying to unravel now. Embedded. I mean, just deep roots. They just had their way for years. And now, it's no easy task. You know, we're only, 8 months into it? They're working hard, but they got a lot of work. I mean, that's just one avenue we're talking about with whole old Billy Boy. And not to mention all the other stuff going on. Again, they've run amok and they were running this country to the ground. And our health, our well-being as human beings or whatever, citizens of this country, doesn't really matter. Easy come, easy go. It's all about the money. All about the money. But let's do this. If you have something to say, you can call me, 818-259-7983. In my modified version of the Peter G Show that we're doing tonight because of some of the havoc that was going on September 24th, today, has taken its toll on some of the technical aspects of this show. But it's all good. We're here. Yeah, I almost thought I was going to have to resort to doing it with my phone. And I said, I will go on if I had a stable connection, just because I did not want to let a show go. Or at least get on to tell you I can't do the show. Hate when we can't do it like that. It bothers the hell out of me because we work hard at it. People are going, yeah, I want to see it, even though PK isn't happy about it. One more time about, you just can't please everybody. But anyway, 818-259-7983. I promise you, all these people that wrote me asking me if I'd give them another chance so they can call in probably can't make it. But at least we have a show we can talk about. I'm not going to do a bunch of Bill Gates videos because I've done a bunch. If you want to see more on the Bill Gates, go over to the YouTube or whatever. And they're there within the past month. They're not hard to find, but you got to go to the live section, not just the video section. I hate that YouTube has that, but we stream live, and there's a column that says live. So if you're looking for videos, it's not going to be there. You got to go to the live video section. It just says live. It doesn't say videos. It's kind of a little bit throws you off. But anyway, there's 2 shows on Bill Gates. I suggest you watch them. It's a little bit of an eye-opener as this video was from a month ago. I just didn't get the time to put it on. 818-259-7983. In the meantime, I do want to talk about the Charlie Kirk thing because I think it's just sad. I think it's sad that people have been once again misled. I'm not saying you have to even like the guy, but is this what's resorted to? We don't like what you have to say, and therefore we just kill you. That's a dictatorship. You can't do that because otherwise people be getting killed in the masses daily. It's like the wild, wild west. But he grew on me. I was hearing his radio show. Sometimes I'm in the car. And, I hate to say it, but it took me a long time to get there. But I listen to AM radio once in a while because I don't feel like listening to music. I've been in music my whole life, and I just take a break. And plus, I'm keeping up with things. I want to hear what people are saying. I like hearing what people are saying. And he has his own radio show, had his own radio show. And I didn't like him so much on the radio, but I also caught a lot of videos through the internet, whether it was YouTube or Instagrams or, whatever, TikToks. And I really liked that a lot more because you got to see him as well. And these people that are calling him racist, the only thing I can tell you guys is you obviously have seen video clips that they have been made on purpose to only show you something that makes it look like he's racist. In other words, they didn't show you the other 20 seconds that like evens it out, that says, okay, he's not racist. He was using an example and said, but, and finished his sentence or paragraph. That's all I can tell you, because this man was farthest from a racist. He just wasn't. But again, they fill a lot of these people just want to hate because it's not on their team, and they'll go down with the ship, and just haters. And it's so sad when people are going, screw Charlie Kirk. It's like, look, man, you don't have to like him or whatever, but did he have just death? Was that was it for him saying things that you don't understand because you didn't see the whole thing? They did that the whole last 4 years. Manipulating videos. It sucks. It makes me crazy because it's just not, it's not right. And a lot of people are quick and headline readers. You heard it. Well, it must be true. It was on the internet or it was on TV. Farthest from the truth. And that's why I come on to do things like this to show you the full video if you're willing to watch. If I happen to catch a hater or a naysayer or whatever, do yourself a favor and pay attention. Do you some good. But this was a Charlie Kirk little video. Well, actually, this isn't. This is just first laying it down on how wrong it is to do what they did and to be proud about it. Be right back.
Let's get one thing straight. They didn't murder Charlie Kirk because he was an extremist or a fascist or a threat to democracy or inciting violence or any of the other reasons that they're now trying to put out on X and TikTok and everywhere else. They murdered him because he was effective. He was effective. The man made incredible arguments while at the same time always trying to seek out common humanity. He might have disagreed with arguments, but he didn't hate anyone. And they murdered him. That's what happened.
That's what happened. He's smart. Holy crap. I mean, if you watch him, the stuff that comes out of his brain, because, when you're debating with somebody, you don't know what they're going to ask you. I mean, sure, there's an area, but it's a really broad, vast area, because he was talking about everything from transgender, male, female, Constitution, the Bible, you name it. That guy blows me out of the water when it comes to knowledge base of what's in his head that he can pull up and just put out flawlessly, confidently. I could never do that. I couldn't do it. Everybody has their strong points, and he was amazing at that. He just knew things. So that's why he could go out there. It's like, sure, let's talk. And a lot of times, again, these people come out with their fists up and all that. It's like, whoa, take it easy. Take it easy. But again, they silenced him. And George Carlin from years ago, anybody remember George Carlin? Comedian? Genius. Friggin' genius when it came to our surroundings and life. And he pretty much told this years ago, and you can't say it any more plain as the way George Carlin is about to tell you. And I think I've played this years ago too, but damn if it isn't the truth.
Assassination. You know what's interesting about assassination? Well, not only does it change those popularity polls in a big fucking hurry, but it's also interesting to notice who it is we assassinate. Do you ever notice who it is? Stop to think of who it is we kill. It's always people who've told us to live together in harmony and try to love one another. Jesus, Gandhi, Lincoln, John Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy, Martin Luther King, Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, John Lennon. They all said, try to live together peacefully. Bam! Right in the fucking head.
How much more spot on can you be than that? That was years ago. Because history. You learn from history. He was so correct. And this stuff is still going on now. And it's not right. There's a little video. I'm going to 818-259-7983. Again, if you want to call and talk about anything, whether it's Bill Gates, Charlie Kirk, about your girlfriend or about your job or whatever, tonight's the night. The phone is ready, but you got to use that number, 818-259-7983. It's right in front of you. And if I'm in the middle of a video, just hang on. I'll answer the phone, and as soon as the video's over, we'll put you up. That's simple. I'm not going to stay here all night, though. And damn if I didn't know this was going to work like this, but I knew it was going to work like this. I just give you the option. But I watched a video. Actually, I was talking to somebody. I commented on LinkedIn, somebody who was praising AOC. And I said, how the hell could she even hold office? She's an idiot. And this guy attacked me. And he says, I can't remember what name he called me. I think maybe he called me a moron or something like that. And he says, she's brilliant. He's telling me that AOC is brilliant. And right there, and I didn't even bother because it wasn't worth my time, but I did read it, and I was going to go. I didn't want to go back and forth because it's just, at that point, when he said that she is brilliant, I knew who I was dealing with, because she just put AOC and brilliant in the same sentence, and that's a friggin' oxymoron, aka who's the moron? She does nothing but gaslight. She's done nothing, really. She's just a great screamer, puppet head screamer. Doesn't know what she's talking about. I don't know where the brilliant comes from, but that's what he claimed. She's brilliant. But here's a quick little video showing her brilliance once again. And thank God for all these people that know enough and know how to call her out, because the problem is there are people that really do think that she is brilliant, amongst others in the clan, that think they're wonderful. And because of what they say, it's got to be true. And then you got people like I'm going to show you right now that really break it down and go, you know what? She does not know what the hell she's talking about. She's a friggin' idiot. Wake up. Here you go.
We should be clear about who Charlie Kirk was. A man who believed that the Civil Rights Act that granted Black Americans the right to vote was a mistake. His rhetoric and beliefs were ignorant, uneducated, and sought to disenfranchise millions.
If you're gonna call someone else's rhetoric ignorant, shouldn't you make sure your rhetoric isn't ignorant? The Civil Rights Act didn't give Black Americans the right to vote. The 15th Amendment did that a century earlier. Then, the Voting Rights Act in 1965 removed the barriers that states were still using to block Black people. But here's the deeper problem. AOC is attacking a straw man. Straw manning is when you twist someone's argument into a weaker version, then attack that instead of what they actually said. It's a logical fallacy. And it's what caused people to think Charlie Kirk is a racist. Here was his actual point.
You said the Civil Rights Act was a mistake. What did you mean by that?
Yeah, so the parts of the Civil Rights Act were great, but the way it's now being implemented to force men in female bathrooms to push forward of the trans agenda, the intent of the Civil Rights Act is way beyond what it was originally authored for.
But the intent specifically originally was to...
Well, that's interesting. So the intent and the law are two different things. So the intent was noble, which was to say that no American can be not allowed into a place of business based on the color of their skin or their ethnic heritage. Totally agreement with that. That's not what the law only did. It created a massive anti-racist DEI army that then gave us affirmative action.
I could do this all day because Charlie made this argument many times. Charlie supported the Civil Rights Act's intention to protect Black Americans from discrimination. His argument was that the law left loopholes, which are now being twisted to justify men and women's sports or racial discrimination in college admissions. AOC didn't just push this straw man once. She repeated it in emails. She pushed it on social media. And she was online when she sent those. 30 seconds with AI could have told her the context. All she had to do was ask, I heard Charlie said X. What's the context? Or what are the strongest arguments for and against this claim. That's how you steelman an argument. That's how you avoid straw manning. You can disagree with Charlie without misrepresenting the past. Lies got him killed. And if this doesn't stop, he won't be the last.
I am so grateful that there's guys like this guy that go out of their way to take the time to explain it to those who may be open enough to listen to it. Because he's right. The lies are getting people killed. It's not right. And that's all there is. It's division, division, division. If you watch enough Charlie Kirk videos, he really doesn't bash anybody. Sometimes he gets hard on little things like, again, he gets attacked all the time. But was a pretty calm guy. He could take any question, anything that they were throwing at him and defuse it and calm it down and talk about it. Something we're having a real hard time with in the world today. 818-259-7983. Time is flying, folks. Again, I'm not going to stay on here all night as well as I could because there's so much to talk about, but I'm not, because I'm going to take this little show and we're going to get back and figure out what the hell was going on. Were we just being hacked in some certain way and things go back to normal tomorrow, or do I have a whole bunch of deciphering to do? But we're on the air, and I'm really glad because, again, whenever they hit the go button, I do not know if we're going to go or not, because once it gets out from here, anything can happen. But we are here. We had a whole bunch of problems, but we are here. Looks a little funky to me, though. It does. I don't like that. Got to get back to the old way. Get back in the Cadillac. The town car. 818-259-7983. If you want to keep that phone dead, that's fine with me. And again, I'll just get the emails and say, sorry, that was the last one. You missed your thing. Every once in a while, I always have month in review. I like month in review when I can do it because there's things that people missed. And I give you the opportunity. If you missed it, okay, here's your chance. But sometimes it's just you missed it again. Charlie Kirk was a communicator. Again, he'd take any situation and defuse it and just say, hey, come on, misunderstandings. He knew that everything was being manipulated. He's a smart guy. He was. And therefore, he would try to get these people. He had the balls to go places where he wasn't welcome to try to talk to these people. And that's what he did. You win some, you lose some. You can't please everybody, but he made a difference, obviously, as you can see. And if you can't see it, it is what it is. So Charlie used to go, and again, people that disagreed with him, he'd still talk to them pretty respectfully. So despite what you're being fed and all this crap, it's not true. And here's a typical example of him doing what he does with people that may or may not agree with him and ending it okay.
And now I'm not. ICE.
What is that sample?
Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement. Hey, don't touch it.
Don't let her have her emotions, man. Just listen.
Have a nice day.
Listen, I'm not saying that she was right.
Let's have a conversation.
She was wrong for that. But you gotta show yourself.
Sorry,
if you really love her, you let her go.
No, 100%, guys. I'm not gonna press. Thank you. See, I'm not gonna. No, that's not. Hey, put it on mine. We gotta go shortly. I got
a question.
Sure. What was your name again? I'm sorry.
I don't think I told you. My name's Mercury.
Nice to meet you. Well, nice to re-meet you, I should say.
What do you hope to get out of this? Why are you here?
Okay, I've been asked that question a lot. First of all, that question should not even have to be asked, but when people stop talking, really bad stuff starts. When marriages stop talking, divorce happens. When church starts happening, they fall apart. When civilizations stop talking, civil war ensues. When you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to want to commit violence against that group. Whether it be the great genocide, the horrible genocides of the last 100 years, people stop talking with each other because they lose their humanity. I wish we could be here without having my hat thrown off and stuff, but what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have reasonable disagreement where violence is not an option.
Make any sense? I think a damn good example is relationships, marriage and or just relationships in general. Ask yourself, those of you who've been in relationships that have gone bad, when you went silent or your spouse or ex or whatever went silent and there's no talking, how'd that work out? How'd that end up? Not good. I can attest to that many times. As many times as sometimes I used to say to my ex-wife, it's like, without communication, we're going to get nowhere. And I swore when I got into the relationship, because of a past relationship, about no communication. And they say, yeah. And then when the time comes, they don't talk. And then if you do talk, it's going to go either one way. Either it's going to, be a yelling match, or you can try to, again, I think as you get older, you get wiser. You learn more. But silence, it's a guaranteed loss. You're going to lose. Start ignoring your spouse, guaranteed divorce. I refuse, to be ignored. I don't think anybody deserves that. And forget about who's right or who's wrong. Communication is what the man's talking about. Last call, 818-259-7983 is the number if you want to say something about anything. Bill Gates, the whole current thing going on with what happened with Charlie Kirk. You don't like your job. Whatever's on your mind. This is your chance to do it. But again, if I only had a nickel for all the emails and comments I get through the years of the threats to call, my God, I'd be retired already. Again, sitting on that beach in front of a house on an island in Greece. Not a care in the world. But I'm here because I love doing this too. But you should call 818-259-7983. Lastly, I'm going to Tim Kramer. He's been on the show. He's pretty much in your face. He's hardcore because he's all about the facts. One more time with the whole Charlie Kirk thing, telling you that this shit cannot carry, you can't keep doing this, or they can't keep doing this. It's not going to end well. So we'll hear from Tim real quick, and then we'll see where we're going to go from there. If you do happen to call during the video, just stay on the line, and we'll get you in. 818-259-7983. Here's Tim Kramer telling it like it is, like he always does.
In moments of Charlie Kirk's assassination, the radical left knew exactly what they needed to do. Justify it. Make it all right. Charlie deserved it. And how did they do that? Well, the first thing is they said that he was hateful. He said hateful things. That he was a white supremacist, a racist, a fascist, a Nazi. And his words were justification enough to kill him. And then they started making comparisons between him and George Floyd. There are no comparisons. George Floyd was a drug addict who OD'd while in police custody for passing bad checks. Charlie Kirk was assassinated for using his words. Now, you may not have liked his words, and his words may have pissed you off from time to time, but at the end of the day, they're just words. Didn't you learn that in kindergarten? Sticks and stones and all of that? What has happened has backfired on the left. We are seeing an upswell of people in this nation whose eyes are now open to what's really going on. It'll never be the same. The left has opened Pandora's box, and it will be their demise. George Floyd didn't make an impact in anybody's lives, more than the days that they were rioting and looting in the streets. Charlie Kirk did. How do I know? Take a look at the following videos, and you tell me that something in this nation hasn't changed.
You don't think it's crazy to get in church? Here's the line for the second service. And there's never a line. By the way, there's never a line. There's never been a line here.
Imagine that. George Floyd dies. Cities burn. People died. Charlie Kirk is assassinated. The lines are longer at church. We're not the same. This next video is a little bit longer. Watch it to the end. But if it doesn't make you cry and make you realize that this nation has changed, nothing will.
You know, I don't come from any kind of money, and I've never owned a suit before. My wife, she bought me this suit. Our anniversary's coming up, and we have a nice anniversary plan. You know, we make a little bit of money now, and I'm proud to say that, because that's certainly not where either one of us comes from. And I feel good in this suit, man. And I just want my wife to know she made me feel good. It's a $300 suit. I ain't never had nothing like this before in my life. And I tell you what, okay, video flip here, so I'm gonna lose some of you. I didn't know Charlie Kirk, never met that guy before in my life. And something else that I've never done before in my life is believe in God. I'm gonna wear this suit to church. I'm gonna go to church. I'm going to try to be a better father, husband, and leader for my family.
And that is why Charlie's dead. His ability to peacefully bring people together, talk to them, use his words, and allow them to see the light. Well, evil can't have that. Charlie's death may prove to be far more impactful on this nation than his life ever was. And at this point, that's the best we can hope for.
Makes sense to me. I'm all about common sense. The stupidity is running ravid, folks. And again, I do not blame some who have been completely taken in by it. But you have a choice. And a lot of people just choose not to listen. That's it. You were told one thing, and that's all I care about, and screw you. Makes a big point. It's like, you know, George Floyd, what did he ever do? And they put up monuments for that guy, a drug addict. And they burned everything down and looted. That was just opportunity. They flat out assassinated Charlie Kirk. And what did all these people, 80 million people that would, you know, probably stick up for this whole thing? What'd they do? Nothing. They held together. They didn't destroy their own properties. Again, it made no sense. They were looting and rioting and burning their own neighborhoods down. This goes on through the years, over and over and over again. And it's the same people doing the same thing. You know, from what side of the tracks do they come from? Unfortunately, the left, which is something I'm kind of embarrassed because I used to be one of them. I didn't act like them. But now I don't care. It's common sense. Whoever's leading a better path makes sense to me. I'm going down that path. I am not going to run with those assholes. Just because it's the group. Doesn't make sense to me. Why would I want to do that? Especially when I know better. A lot of people don't know better. That's where that. Last call, 818-259-7983. I swear to God, I'm just so blown away because, again, I personally answered about a half a dozen emails today just to acknowledge that they asked about calling in tonight. These people took time out of their lives to phone it, to to write me stating they wanted to call in. But it's okay. So long as you people are watching, share. That's what's most important, because if we can't get this straightened out, it's never going to end. One at a time. If I changed one person's mind tonight about even Charlie Kirk, that they happen to catch that video going, see, it wasn't like they said it was. They didn't play the whole video. One person. My show has, done something. So share. Let's stop the stupidity. Hey, that could be a campaign slogan. STS. Wow. Don't forget, next week, This stuff just bothers me. It's so sad. It's so unnecessary. Wednesday, October 1st. She's getting ready to celebrate her 3rd year of being sober. Miss Poppy Long is going to be on the show. She was on the show on her 1st year of sobriety because she almost died from being an alcoholic. She was a friggin' mess. By the grace of God, she got pulled up and straightened herself out. Now she's celebrating her 3rd year and wants to come on to talk about how even more awesome her life is than it was after her 1st year of keeping her head straight and getting out of the alcohol. She's going to be on this show Wednesday, October 1st, right here to talk about it. And she's easy on the eyes, too. Every little bit helps. But that's an accomplishment because a lot of people can't stop. So join me right here. We're going to talk about her journey of staying sober, which it isn't easy, on the Peter G Show. I do want to thank everybody for watching. Anything else going on? No. Don't forget, please. I am so proud of you Facebook people. Let's hit 100,000 people. All right? We are so almost on there. We're on track. It's just amazing for Facebook. A platform that I started on, but honestly thought that that they were going to pull me down. I thought they were going to be super critical about what I do, and ended up they're more understanding than YouTube, that's for sure. YouTube is my problem child platform. So please keep subscribing to the YouTube channel, Peter G Show, but also go and follow me on the official Peter G Show Facebook, LinkedIn also. You can comment if you watch the shows live. Those are the only 3 platforms, if you're watching live, that you can comment live. And I can see them while we're live. But again, it's on other platforms: Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey, 1 or 2 more, and then there's the audio podcast. 26 different platforms: Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music. All the big ones were there. Put an earbud in your ear. Listen to the Peter G Show when you can't sit down long enough to watch it. I love when you watch, but listening to the shows or the next best thing to be in there. We have over 400 shows, all kinds of topics. Some are the current event stuff, and some are, we even have, a few that are just totally stupid, entertaining, stupid. But I like that. I wish I could do more of that. And I want to, and I probably will. But right now, this is where we're at. And tonight, especially, we overcame the odds of having a lot of issues that were going on. And I don't know whether that's attributed to people trying to make life harder today because they were claiming it was going to be a doomsday, revival and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know if they hit, social media platforms and or servers, the internet, you name it. If anybody else is having problems, I even got a text through my cellular provider talking about if there's during problems to, do this and do that. I'm going, that's odd. I've never gotten that before. Maybe sometimes if there's, a storm or something, but there's no storms, no earthquakes. And all of a sudden we got that. So anyway, it was tough today. It's tough. We made it pretty much unscathed. If I didn't say nothing that we're doing, I am operating from a completely different way. You might not even notice the difference, but I feel the difference. I'll be glad when we can get back up to where I want to get back on my comfy couch. This is like driving a little car, and I had to wear my glasses. I try not to wear my glasses because they got the glare. I had to because I'm using things that we used 5 years ago, maybe more. Nonetheless, the purpose for the story is we're here. I will remain being here like clockwork every Wednesday, like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. Life of Peter G, the Peter G Show. I truly appreciate you, the ones who showed up, even PK, who doesn't like me, I guess. And I'll tell you what, I always make fun of it, but I attribute that to a lot of people who tune in, don't know what to expect, and in their mind, I'm not what they thought they was going to be, and they won't hang around long enough to give it a chance. Some will come in again, but you can't please everybody. But even still, there's a lot of people that eventually, how many shows or people have you watched to where you can say, Yeah, it was a little weird at the beginning. I didn't think I was going to like him, but I really like him now. Hi, my name is Peter. Thanks for watching Life of Peter G. All right. Lastly, be kind. Say this every week, and I will continue to say it every week because it's so important. Life is short. We are in turmoil, folks. Try to be, how did my divorce lawyer used to say all the time? Keep wearing the white hat, which is not easy to do. I used to look at him with a like, WTF. I'm sick of wearing the white hat. And he looked at me and goes, keep wearing the white hat. So in other words, as hard as it is to be kind, be kind. You don't know what the other person next to you is going through. Sometimes people just lash out. Sometimes people are just flat out assholes, though. They are. And you'll figure that out. And then you just let them go on their way and let them bother somebody else. But 9 times out of 10, there's just everybody's got problems. Everybody's having issues. It's tough. So please, be kind. You don't have to take a lot of shit from someone, but you don't have to be an ass either. It's tough. I can attest to that. Been there, done that. Still doing it. Trying. But I try. I love you guys for watching. I do. Thank you. Please share. Super important. Can't say it enough. And people say, man, why do you got to keep telling people that? Because you got to keep telling people that. I love you guys. I seriously do. I'll see you next week when Poppy Long joins me and we talk about her journey through putting down the bottle and living a good life now. So, all right. Say your prayers. Hug your kids. Love your family and your friends. My name is Peter G. I do love you guys. And peace out.
Peter G Show. Peter G Show. Divorced dad. Single dad.